rise, we'll call the Warsaw-Wayne Township Fire Protection Territory Board meeting, September 3rd, to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And remain standing while a moment of silence. Thank you. Be seated. I'll have a roll call. Joel Schilling.
Present.
Chief Schilling, thank you. Mike Clondaris.
Present.
Dave Albritton.
Present.
Gordon Nash.
Present.
Jeannie Stackhouse.
Present.
All members present and accounted for. Heather, thank you. The minutes from the August 6th meeting. Entertain a motion to approve.
Make the motion.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Thank you for that. I want to welcome everybody again for your attendance today. We'll go to reports, oral and written, our monthly response reports, Lutheran EMS. No one here to report, but we do have a report in front of the board. I want to look at that.
I have a kind of a technical question. On page 3, what is that dispatch in service? I understand what that means, but what's that number indicative of? What's that number telling me? Does anybody know?
So I'll try my best, but from how it kind of relates to the fire side, so I would guess that that is the dispatch time where they were dispatched to the time that that truck returns to service, able to take calls again. So it looks like it's at about 46 minutes.
So if I were to add up that first column, 5.1, 20.42, blah, 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 it'd give me 43.35? Is that the total? Is that what that bottom one is, total time?
It looks like that's still going to be longer than that. And I don't know if that's for the average for all their trucks. I'm not.
Okay,
I,
well,
I apologize. I tried.
No, I
But-
I was really looking at it and I thought, what actually does that number tell me?
Yeah, I would, and just again, from looking at it, I would guess that's the time that they were dispatched. They're taken out of service to handle that call, and then they've come back in service. And
We'll find out
their
next
averages.
month.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a rough guess.
Well, we just may find out yet
perfect timing.
today.
Right, yeah. Welcome.
My turn. Sorry.
We're entertaining your report.
Catch your breath, catch
Hi.
your breath.
And we
Sorry.
actually, yeah,
In case
if
you're
you,
wondering, the front doors here are locked after 4. So if you show up late, just so you know. So I apologize. I know I wasn't here last month. Unfortunately, I had a family emergency that resulted in me needing to be in Indianapolis. But I do have a very busy month in June and July that I wanted to talk to you guys about and kind of fill you in on. So as you look at the month of June and July in this report, you'll see that our call volume continues to go up in the summer, which that's kind of our expected. We know that's going to happen. It's pretty known, especially in our community. People come into town. Unfortunately, what we don't expect is the level of acuity that we have seen, and I'm sure Chief and Chief Fansel will see and talk about that as well. Throughout this summer, we have seen a huge uptick in the patients that have needed our services being very acutely ill, and in fact, actually needing more services than we've normally seen in the past. We usually see a lot of motor vehicle accidents, a lot of injuries, Unfortunately, a lot of the things you would think outside kind of things, and a lot of respiratory emergencies during the month of July. We actually saw the most amount of COVID patients that we've seen for almost a year and a half. And so a lot of that high acuity is reflected throughout the month of this report. You'll see, for example, the scene times seem like they're kind of a little bit longer, but that's because of that high acuity. There's a lot more that has to happen for those patients. But because of that, a little bit longer on the scene, they get that care that much sooner. So just so when you see a little bit longer on that scene time, that's why, because of that higher level of care that was actually needed for these patients. So the big peak of time, though, we see later in the summer, which isn't really surprising when you think about kind of how people naturally deal with the summer months. They stay up later, they stay out later, they do things later in the day, and kind of enjoy the cooler part of the day at home. And we see that reflected in our numbers with the busiest times going later into about 10 o'clock versus normally they drop off right about 7 or 8 o'clock. So you'll see those reflected. During the month of July, we actually had 2 of our paramedics finish and successfully pass the National Registry paramedic exam. And so currently we have several trucks that run on an everyday basis of 2 paramedics because we have been able to get so many successfully through. And that's something as a community we should be incredibly proud of, especially when you look at places like, for example, Allen County, who, if you have seen anything that they are dealing with in that county right now in regards to medical coverage, having an abundance of paramedics is a huge advantage that we get in our community. So a higher acuity has been able to kind of still be well taken care of with these extra paramedics that we have. So a huge kudos to the staff who have taken the 2.5 years to complete that program and do it well. So, questions?
I had a question before you
Okay.
got here.
Okay.
And if you go, on my computer, it says page 3, where you have dispatch, location, scene time, return to service, transport time.
Sure.
And my question was concerning the last category, dispatch and service. What do those numbers mean?
So dispatch is from the time that dispatch gets the call. So that there's about 1.5 minutes, or sometimes even a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, that it takes dispatch to take the information and then call and give us the call. And then that is from the moment somebody at dispatch picks up the phone and says, 911, what's your emergency, to the time our truck goes completely back in service at the hospital. So that entire call on average.
So when you say back in service, back ready for the next
Ready
call.
for the next one, yep. So like one of the things, if you compare 2024 numbers to, you go back as far as like 2021 or 2022, you'll see that those numbers typically would run about 60, 65 minutes. And that was because we were having to leave the county with those patients to get that care that they needed. So it took us longer to get back in service and available for another call. But because of the advantage we have here in Kosciuszko County with the healthcare systems that we have, we are able to do so much more locally that patients don't have to leave the community that they live in.
So should the first 4, if you add them up, equal the bottom number? Because they don't.
No, not always, because of the way some of this plays into it. So one of the things that is included in the dispatch to in service that is not included in like the dispatch to location is in a situation where we would get called out and we would take care of the resident like at home and we go back in service. So in that situation, we wouldn't transport that patient. So there would not be a transport time. Does that make sense? So there isn't a transport time, so those numbers wouldn't be, this is on an average of every possible call that we get on what that averages out to be. And that includes a transfer, that includes a 911 call, absolutely anything.
Okay, because I was trying to add those numbers up and I never
Yeah.
got to that bottom line
No,
number.
and they won't.
I'm missing something.
Yes,
Okay.
They won't.
All right, well, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. That's
Any-
good for me, Mayor.
Yeah, good. Any other questions? Thank you for making it past all the locked doors. Good job.
I know, I was like, oh,
Appreciate that.
sorry about that.
Thank you very much.
Nice report.
Next item is the Warsaw-Wayne Fire Territory Monthly Activity Report. Chief?
Yeah, so we had, in the month of July, 355 responses, and of those 355, 127 were overlapping, for a total of 36%. We had 8 fire calls, or in our 100 category. We received help from Winona Lake and Claypool Fire Department, and then we gave help to Leesburg, Atwood, and Winona Lake as well. And then as you scroll down, you can see still on page 1 the 300 category, which is our rescue and EMS calls, and it's kind of combined into page 1 and page 2 there. Our hazardous conditions calls as well are broke out for each station. Our service calls and good intent calls, and then our false calls as well. We did have a few storms come through in the month of July, so you will see 2 severe weather calls and that, and then a total of 47 CARES calls as well in the special incidents. We trained for 506.2 hours in July on dive, EMS, and then with our new hires, pumping trucks, we're trying to get more guys through able to be drivers for us. So some of their driver training and stuff like that they have to go through. We did some technical rescue stuff as well as, again, some dive training. We did some community service at the YMCA and the fair, and then obviously some 4th of July parade as well for a total of 11 hours. And then it just kind of breaks it down for call by call on into more detail for your reading pleasure, and then our overlapping calls. And that's about it, unless anybody else has any other questions.
I ask every year, did you have many or any fireworks-related incidents?
I don't, I'm sure we did, but I don't, to pick them out of here. They could be, it could be a firework-related incident of an injured hand, but we would still classify it as a medical call. So there's really no good way, to
I'm
my
thinking more
mind.
like
Oh, there were 2? Okay.
Fires? Any?
I don't believe so
Okay, good.
that I'm aware of. It could be some of the brush fires might
I was
have
wondering.
been caused, but without going back and pulling that report, I can't answer that question.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
Still a lot of overlaps.
There are a lot of overlaps.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the monthly response reports as presented.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Next item is the CARES update. Thank you.
I did hand out the update for the month. Just as a reminder, as always, this is actually from August. Because of the grant cycle, we have to be a little bit more up to speed on these, so that's why you get them a little quicker. It was actually a slower month for the CARES ladies. 57 interactions, however. Michaela wanted me to let everyone know that she was on vacation for a week, so that slowed things a little bit. And then we actually just finished a week of, it's been on our Facebook page. We did a mental health stand down for our staff, and the CARES ladies were a big part of that. Both setting it up and kind of guiding us through those 3 days that we had the opportunity, thanks to Chief Schilling and then the CARES folks and some local resources that kind of helped us out with that. So that was a good thing for our staff to kind of have a couple of days to just kind of relax and have some fun and do some team building. So that's why those numbers are down a little bit. You'll continue to see mental health navigation as a big ask for the ladies. And they work with a lot of the different resources to try to make those things happen for people when they call with requests. We're also being utilized, seems like more by PD. The sheriff's office has asked us out a couple of times to help them with some situations. And we've actually been requested by law enforcement on some death scenes to go out and help families deal with the sudden loss of someone. So I think that's been a sad but good utilization of those ladies in their training to go out and help families deal with the sudden loss of a loved one. So we've been doing that a little bit as well. And I think that's gone very, very well for what we can do for those families. So my hat's off to the ladies for doing that. They're taking some initiative on that, and PD's asking for them to come out. I think it's a great resource in the time of great need. So I'm pretty proud of them for that. Any questions for me?
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Entertain a motion to approve the CARES report as presented.
Also move.
Motion to approve. Moved. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Thank you. Monthly expenditure reports, Chief, Operating Fund 2243.
Yeah, so as I look through here, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, other than it was one of the pays out of that month was a quarterly pay for our stipends and cell phone and that sort of thing. So you'll see that in there. Other than that, all looks normal unless anybody has any questions on any item specific.
Questions on that fund? Okay, moving on to the Equipment Replacement Fund 4410.
Again, nothing really out of the ordinary there. We did have some problems with our air conditioner there when it got really hot at Station 17, or formerly Station 1 here on Main Street. So we did have to work on that quite a bit, and in the end, you will see on next month's report that we ended up having to replace that air conditioner. So that's why you'll see some bills there for core mechanical. I'm working on the AC there when it got real hot. And other than that, just other equipment as needed.
Any questions for the chief on either report? With none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the reports as presented.
Make that motion.
Motion to approve as presented. Is there a second?
I second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Thank you, Chief, for that.
Yep.
Moving into unfinished business, Chief, Family Safety Day.
Yeah, so our Family Safety Day is coming up September 14th, and if I'm allowed, I will have the chair of our Family Safety Day Committee, Heather, speak on Family Safety Day if she would
Heather,
like.
you do a really good job.
I heard she did great at the radio
She did on the
interview.
radio, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Family Safety Day will be Saturday, September 14th from 11 to 3. We have roughly, I think it's about 45 vendors signed up now. I don't know how that compares to previous years. I know we were almost at capacity then, and we're at the same capacity now. We have a couple new ones. We have quite a few new sponsors this year. So we were able to do something really cool and offer Kona Ice free to every attendee who comes to the event due to our sponsors. So we think that's really huge. The first 250 will get a cool, it's like a temperature cup. So it changes colors for Kona Ice. So they'll get that. And then we have goodie bags for the first 250 as well. So, and it's free. All of it's completely free.
Yeah, and again, this it's going to be at Central Park. Couldn't do it without the Parks Department as well for the city there. Huge helping us out there as well, whether it be equipment or resources that they have. So shout out to them as well. But, yeah, I'd invite you all to attend and if you so choose.
Heather and Chief, thanks for the update there. I won't ask for a vote to approve, but I do appreciate the update. Item number 2, there's an inspection service agreement for Station 15.
Yes, so this is the inspection agreement for Corson to inspect our sprinkler system. And it is at its, if you notice in 2025, it will have its 5-year internal pipe inspection. So they actually run a camera in that and go through the entire system to make sure it's working properly and that there's no debris stuck anywhere or a pipe failing anywhere as well from corrosion or anything like that. So that's why in 2025 you'll see it more expensive. But this was approved by the Board of Works on 8/16 of '24 as well.
Any questions on that? I will ask for a vote on that. The Board of Works has approved, but I would like to entertain a motion to approve by this board.
Make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the contract. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? Thank you, the ayes have it with that. Chief, we have a sales and service maintenance agreement contract.
Yep, so this is just another service contract for Cummins to do our generators that supply power to our stations in the event that we lose power. You will also notice on there that we have the Warsaw Police Department. So part of this agreement, we all got better pricing the more we have, so we invited them on board as well, as we have in years past, to bring them on. I will note that the police department will pay for their portion of it, and then the fire territory will pay for their generators. And it's broken down, so the territory's portion of the total is $2,050.84. And again, it was approved by the Board of Works on 8/16.
Any questions for the chief?
How often is that done?
Annually. So we get it done every year, and we try and do I'm sorry, they come twice a year. Yes, they come twice a year to make sure that it's good, but the agreement is done annually.
Gotcha. I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it. We have another rescue systems maintenance and service contract. Chief?
Yep, so again, just another service agreement for 3 years to maintain our extrication equipment. So this agreement is with HAL Rescue Systems. And again, it's just nothing more than them coming in and doing our preventative maintenance on all of our equipment. With this agreement, this was new for HAL Rescue Systems. They've normally not done one, but they decided as a business to start doing them. And I like it because it helps with it makes it easier to budget out. We know exactly what it's going to be. We also, if we do have any issues with any of our tools, they give us loaners. Typically, it's by either that day or next day. They're out of Dayton, Ohio, so they get here. Their customer service is truly great. And then we also will get a 15% price break on parts as well through this agreement. So, and again, it was approved by the Board of Works on 8/16.
The Board of Works approval, like the other two, somewhat of a timing issue. I would like to entertain a motion to approve this is for the record, so it's coming from this board.
So move.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thanks, Chief, for taking us through all those. And
No problem.
Heather, your help with Family Safety Day. No new business. We do have travel requests, Chief.
Yeah, so we have 3 travel requests, one of which is for firefighter Tyler Colt to go get his Inspector 1 certification in Huntington. That was a kind of a blended class where most of it is done online, but then there were some days where he would have to travel to Huntington. Tyler has been, through this class, has been working with Fire Marshal Williams as well to, for help if he needs it. So it's not all online, he's still asking for help if he needs it and stuff as well. The second one is for Fire Marshal Jeremy Williams to attend the quarterly sessions that the state puts on for his continuing education for his certification for inspector. And then the third one is for Lieutenant Kinsey to obtain his Fire Officer 2 certification.
Any questions from the board about these 3 requests? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make that motion.
Motion to approve, is there a second? There's a motion and a second to approve the travel requests. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Thank you, Chief. Any other matters? Thank you.
I know it was already in the paper. I just wanted to remind everybody that as part of the R-Corp grant that we got through the CARES program, the Rural Communities Opioid Response Program, we're taking part in a substance abuse, opioid abuse event on Thursday out at the PAC at the high school. We're going to have resource tables set up there. The event starts, the doors open at 5. From 5 to 6, you'll be able to talk to all those local resources. And then at 6, we're going to have Judge McGrath is going to be the MC, if you will, for the event. And then we're bringing in Judge Linda Davis. I believe she's from Colorado, talking about how substance abuse has affected her personally and her family. And then we're going to have some local speakers that are going to talk about their experience with substance abuse and what that did to their lives and how their lives have changed because of that. So I think it's a really good event. I think it's going to, we're trying to take the stigma away from substance abuse and really talk about the resources and the people that are pulling and trying to help each other to fight this. So it's open to the public, it's free. I believe there are even sandwiches if you get there between 5 and 6. I think there are going to be sandwiches served. It's all paid for through the grant, and a lot of different people have come together to make this happen, so we're pretty excited. We're hopeful we'll have a couple more events later on in the grant as it kind of fades away in the next year or so, but this is going to be a big thing. This Thursday, it opens at 5 o'clock at the PAC at the high school, so please come.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments or questions from anybody in the audience? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good late afternoon, evening.